when we date their potential, or we're dating them and we're thinking we're going to get together and be a team, and the shit doesn't work out, then those same black men turn around to us and wag their finger and say, you should have chose better, choose better.
Do you think women are more vain than men, or as vain?
You mean like intentional?
Yeah, like so we'd be like her body not right, or she not pretty enough, or whatever, right? Those could be some things you might disqualify a woman from. But it sounds like they'll be like your education not right, your look not right, your height not right, uh your pipe game might not be right. What else? A gang of extra shit. I kind of feel like we'll take two or three things and work with the rest, but everything got to line up to the people that say it's not enough, man. That's what I'm asking. Do y'all think who
I
y'all think
think
is more vain?
I think if you really pay attention to those game shows where they pop in the balloons and stuff, it's a lot of people that's not in those younger girls' generation commenting on their experience as young women and what they have to go through to get to the point of, whatever they have to go through in their 20s to get to their maturity that they need to be in their 30s. But when you see the older women in there that's like in their 30s and 40s, depending on your generation, they tell those women, like, you're being shallow, like, you don't have enough depth. You're looking on the surface. These are things that you're going to regret in the future. These are mistakes that we just have to make as women. So I do feel like sometimes they throw the younger women out there and use them as examples as if this is what the mature crowd is doing. But it's not all. I don't think it's when I hear like women in their 30s and 40s talks, like late 30s and 40s, they seem like they're like they not on the like they not thinking like that. They not thinking like, oh, he has to do this. He have to do this. It's a specific career, and you got this, and you got that. One girl, lady was just on there because the girl was like, I don't want an electrician. I mean, a truck driver. That's boring. That's boring. She was 24. So the 30-year-old woman had to check her. She was like, that is irking my soul right now because you're disqualifying him for a job, but that man can actually bring stability to your life to where you can do the job that you want to do. So
Yeah.
I do feel like a lot of that is the, younger generation.
So DJ,
Yes.
thank you for popping up tonight. What's your thoughts on this?
So I got a lot of thoughts on this. There's a lot of reasons why I agree with that woman in the clip. Um, Mass incarceration, unemployment, education, the gender gap. There's a lot of reasons why Black men are disenfranchised. Does that mean that it's all their fault? No, a lot of that is not their fault. However, there are some things that Black men can work on to be more viable partners, for what you're lacking in education and your wages and things like that. I think you need to raise your accountability. You need to raise your transparency. You need to raise your communication. There are other areas that could be worked on to where we're kind of meeting up on the same level. And I heard somebody say earlier that Black women are not desirable. That's not true. Black women are actually just the most racially loyal of any race. We're extremely loyal to Black men, and a lot of us are not interested in dating outside of Black men. However, when we look at the choices, yeah, it does cause for some concern. And then um when we date their potential, or we're dating them and we're thinking we're going to get together and be a team, and the shit doesn't work out, then those same Black men turn around to us and wag their finger and say, you should have chose better, choose better. So now that Black women are trying to choose better and do better, we're also getting criticized for that. So it's kind of like we can't really win, right? Because when we try to really pick a candidate that is more evenly yoked with us, whether it is that we're talking about financial stability, or the lines of communication, or a little bit more progressive in his way of thinking, whatever it is, when we sit there and uphold our standards, we're being too tough. We think we all of that. And then if we're more lenient, If we're more lenient in that, and we end up with then all the black men throw their hands up and say, that's him, that's not me, you chose wrong. Well, if that's the case, a lot of us are choosing wrong. You know, in the 90s, this wasn't really a conversation because 75% of the black home was absentee fathers. And nobody was complaining because there was no system to hold them accountable. There was no child support. There was no podcast where women could share thoughts and experiences. There was no internet, nothing like that. But now that there's systems to hold black men accountable, now all of a sudden black women are the enemy. Now that we have standards, oh my God, who do you think you are? You're the most undesirable. And it just, we're damned if we do, and we're damned if we don't.
Yeah, I
So
want
you
to kind
forgot
of
to
jump
mention.
in there real quick.
Go
Oh, you
ahead.
got it, Bruce? No, I
No, I
want
was
to jump
gonna
in
say
there real quick.
I was gonna say she failed to mention back in those days, our families were strong and thriving. And we didn't have divorces like we do. We didn't have broken families and fatherless children out here like we do. But
Also,
you
to
go ahead,
piggyback
Rob.
on, yeah, bro, to piggyback on that, also, I think you misinterpreted what Darwin said. He said, by statistics, black women are the least desirable. So when they start to ask men, which women do they try and, approach the most? Who do they go after the most? They poll men of all races, and our women are coming in last in that category because maybe some of the combativeness, maybe some of the the stereotypes that we talk about. Not saying it's all of our women, but that's just from what the polls say. Now, mind you, most men, black men, we want to stay within our race. Same thing with black women. I'm just saying he was saying what the polls say in that scenario. And then also, like, come on, man, we gotta stop with that. In the 90s, you say it wasn't any podcast for women to express themselves. Men have been getting shitted on by the world forever. Oprah was busting in the 90s, talking down on men. Since recently is the first time that women actually have men's point of view on things. Since we have these vehicles like this right now, where you actually can hear real people speaking, not just who they push out there to you, not the propaganda that they put out there, because of course, black men have always been demonized in all forms of media. We never really had a voice. Name one black man that spoke up for black men and represented black men like men have had. Oprah, come on, man. She's been the queen of that for so long. She's a billionaire. We've never had that. Name one black man that stood for black men, spoke for black men, and the experience that we go through. Black women, you've had plenty of voices.
Okay,
because
so
part of that a lot. Okay, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna chime in on the Oprah thing. Oprah has never been a voice for black women. She's been a voice for white women, white people. That is her audience. It's
Against
never
black
been
men
black
is
women.
my point. Against black men is
Oprah
my
has
point.
never
And she
been
was
for
a black
us.
woman.
We don't claim Oprah. We don't know that lady.
But see, the one thing you gotta understand, these
She's
people,
never been an advocate for black women. Let's be
feminists was
her
never an
audience is
advocate
white
for black
people.
women, but y'all still put up their flags and tatted they flags and alma maters on y'all skin. It was never for
that?
you. That was the feminist movement. There's a lot of movements that and things that took place in society that wasn't even intended for black women, but black women latched on to it.